woman who was a Ukrainian. So my normal guy wasn't there. I said, yeah, just me a number 2, short back and sides. And she thought I said a skin fade. So when she was doing my hair, all of a sudden she put this fucking thing.
Testing.
Oh, don't do my scar. Yeah. Look, that's my scar. Can you see it? Yeah.
All right, okay.
So that's why I always go on the left side.
I'm never thinking.
Well,
Are you pair all right to share a mic?
yeah, but I like to give the story behind it. You know what I mean? It's better, isn't it? Jazz it up a little
When
bit.
it came with the old Ukrainian.
Yeah. Just jazz it up a little bit. I might hold this, yeah? Right, are we ready?
We are ready. October Red Boxing here with the lovely and first-time guest, Gareth A Davies.
Oh, really? Is it my debut?
It's your debut. It's your October Red debut with the lovely Spencer Oliver.
The reason I'm holding the mic, by the way,
Yeah.
because he doesn't stop talking. And then when I talk, he's always having a go at me for talking, and he's always telling me to keep it short. So
I'm not. Keep it short, yeah?
it's,
This is what we like, and this is exactly why I wanted the two of you on camera together.
No, he doesn't know when enough is enough. That's the problem.
When is enough actually enough?
Well, that's one of the big 12 questions in life. How much is enough?
what's the other 11?
Oh, I'm not going to go into them now because it's a whole kind of discourse on life, isn't it? You know?
Well, what I'd like to discuss with you two professionals is just boxing. We're gonna take it away from
Otherwise, a little bit.
yeah. We're gonna take it away from this weekend, and I want to talk. Are you listening?
Yeah, we can listen and laugh.
Yeah.
At the same time. Don't
It's-
start
We
arguing.
can,
Listen,
we can multitask.
I like arguing.
We do a lot of multitasking.
Oh, do you?
We are listening.
This is another show, though.
Yeah.
Okay. I want you guys to give me your opinion on what's going on with Tyson Fury and the offers, and AJ possibly accepting a fight, and there's been some deadlines given. I want to go that way because let's just talk about heavyweights.
So I know more than Gareth about this. Whole
You do?
situation, but that's,
Obviously.
Is that because you're in the text message group?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, sorry.
Go on, let's talk about the WhatsApp group.
No, I want to.
Let's talk about the WhatsApp.
Personal group.
He shouldn't have been asking your opinion.
He wasn't asking
Not
my, no,
for the fight.
he wasn't asking my opinion. So, hold on. Get back in your boxing game. Look, he's off again, isn't he?
I like it.
So this is
though.
what happens. See, every time we sort of like, it's a love-hate relationship. I love Gareth, he hates me, and this is why this happens.
I won't say the abuse that you were hurtling across the room from at each other earlier.
Abuse. There's never abuse.
No,
No, it's not a bruise. I called him a clown. That's not a bruise.
I won't tell you what he said about you then.
I know exactly what he said about me, or at least I know what he thinks about me, but that's another story. Anyway, let's get back to this interview.
Norman Wisdom's nephew, yeah.
Why are you laughing? What? That's obviously touched something.
It's tickled me.
Okay.
A lot of things do. But anyway, back to boxing.
Yes, back to boxing. AJ, Willie, listen, I think there's a very generous offer, by the way, from Tyson Fury, off AJ coming off the defeat against Alexander Usyk twice, to offer him 60-40. That was a very tempting offer, an offer I know that AJ will accept with both hands, actually bite his hand off for that. And that's why I believe that it will happen. But I know AJ was asking for December the 17th. That was the date that he wanted. Tyson Fury wants November the 26th or December the 3rd.
Correct.
And AJ's not holding the cards on that one, so he'll have to go with one of those dates. And I also know that he will accept one of those dates. It's a couple of weeks earlier than he wanted to, but he will accept that. I mean, out of nowhere,
Joshua's going to accept one of
Oh, I do, yeah.
But you still think the fight goes ahead, though?
I do, because I believe that Fury's a man of his word, and he will. And he's come out and he said that he's looking for an opponent. Obviously, Alexander Usyk's injured; he can't go in there. Tyson Fury's been named a couple of opponents, mentioned a couple of opponents, but Anthony Joshua's there. He's coming back in December. Anyway, I think it's a fight that will definitely happen.
Oh, but not in December or November.
I do. I think it's
I
next.
don't agree. I don't think it will happen.
Talk to me, Gareth.
What are we going to bet on this?
I
by the
think
way?
the deadline... No, I'm not betting with you on it. I mean, listen, let me say...
So he knows.
I hope it does happen, but I don't think it will. Not now.
Why?
He will.
And it's not the right time for Joshua to take this fight anyway.
Why?
Given the deals he's got set up with DAZN, I think Hearn will steer him away from it. Eddie Hearn will steer him away from it. I think they'll insist on that December the 17th date, and I think Fury will say no, November 26th or December the 3rd, and they'll go, no, we can't do that, it's too soon, and I think it'll fall apart in the next couple of days.
But why is it too soon though? Anthony Joshua's coming off a 12-round fight where he didn't pick up any injuries. He's back in light training now. There's plenty of time for him, and he's also got those rounds under his belt, so it's not too soon for Joshua.
Well, look, you may have spoken to Anthony Joshua, I haven't, and conventional wisdom says on the back of 2 losses, and after a very tough fight and a really kind of enduring training camp, I don't see him being ready for the end of November or early December. I think it's too soon, Spence.
We'll see.
When you say that it's too soon, obviously you're talking about coming off 2 losses, obviously the dates. Do you think it does happen? And the only reason why I'm asking this is sometimes, I mean, we've got a catalogue of events coming from Tyson Fury where he's moved from opponent to opponent.
To retirement, half a billy for nothing to fight.
Absolutely. So based on that, and that's how I'm looking at it from the outside in, do you think it will happen anyway?
I think it will eventually happen, but I think there's too much. They may get to a preliminary agreement, and they almost have, haven't they? 60-40. They're still wrangling over the date. There's a lot of other things to sort out, like the TV deals to DAZN and BT Sport and ESPN. I think these things take a long time to come together. And I just don't think there's enough time, and I just think it's too soon for Anthony Joshua to come back. This is a game-changing fight. I think he gets beaten by Fury, and where does he go from here? The other side of it is
I was going to say on the flip side,
take it now. Chance for third-time world time championship, third-time world champion status. From the outside, you can see it as doable, but the way boxing works and the way when 2 big conglomerates come together, which they are, I just don't think those business deals get done so quickly.
I'm not so sure. Like I'm not so sure. I think it's one of those that I think it can happen because both fighters are ready for it to happen. Anthony Joshua is ready for them dates. He will accept them dates if that's a date that's thrown at him. And I think the fight is so big that I think.
It's an £80 million fight.
Absolutely, okay. It's a huge fight. If I'm totally honest, I think the fight is bigger than Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk, as in on the financial gain.
Talk to me about
I really do believe that.
Talk to me. Why?
Because it's a fight. The 2 huge names of the sport. Anthony Joshua, win or lose, he's the biggest. He's the biggest name probably in heavyweight boxing. He's a massive. He's a massive brand, may I say. Like Anthony Joshua is huge. His name is outside of the casual boxing fan. Do you know what I'm saying? As is Tyson Fury now. But what I'm saying is Alexander Usyk isn't. Even though he's even though he's a unified champ and he's holding most of the belts, he's still not nearly the name that Anthony Joshua is. And I think for that reason, that fight's still huge, and it's a fight that people want. Obviously, Tyson Fury is going to be an overwhelming favourite going into it because of recent, form and everything.
Do you think Fury wins?
Yeah, I was about to ask you that. What do you think? You're a fighter.
Sure.
What do you think?
I'm not sure. I think that put it this way, I think Anthony Joshua causes Tyson Fury much more problems than Alexander Usyk would. Stylistically.
Yeah, problems.
Yeah, different problems. And then problems, could Tyson Fury, look, he's going to start the favourite, obviously, but I think that Joshua causes Fury more problems than Alexander Usyk.
Elaborate on that, Gareth.
Well, it's not my opinion, so...
Yeah, it's my opinion.
You said he causes problems
so my
as well.
opinion...
Different sorts of problems.
No, I think Anthony Joshua is...
I think
a stylistic fight for Tyson Fury than Alexander Usyk.
Yeah, I think that size would play a massive factor with Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. Although Usyk's brilliant at running around the ring, Tyson Fury's boxing IQ is much better than Anthony Joshua's. For that reason, he would know how to cut the ring down, wear Usyk down, tie him up, do whatever. And like I say, his boxing IQ is better. And for that reason, I just think it'd be too big for Usyk, and size would play a huge part in that. Whereas people would then say, well, Anthony Joshua's just, he's a huge guy, and he couldn't. Usyk uses speed, but Anthony Joshua's not Tyson Fury. Fury's got a better boxing IQ than Anthony Joshua, but Anthony Joshua's very explosive. He throws punches straight down the middle, which could cause Tyson Fury problems. Fury's one of those guys
who has, and Fury has looked like he wants to get more involved in the scrap these days.
And that plays into Joshua's hands.
It does in lots of ways. Look, bottom line with all of this, just to draw a line under it, because you've literally said everything that I could have said and more, is that I hope the fight happens.
See what I mean? See what I mean?
I can't believe you two are agreeing.
A
to
lot
start off.
more. I'm not agreeing with him. I'm just trying to have a go at him. He got it.
See what I mean? That's what I'm dealing with on a
I
weekly
cannot believe-
basis, yeah. Talk Sport, Saturday fight night, he goes into me. Saudi, he goes into me. This is what I'm dealing with. This is
I'm
what
dealing with Norman Wisdom's grandson every week in, week out.
Don't laugh.
But it makes for good listening because we don't want people to agree. We want people to have difference in
Yeah,
opinions.
you want people to fight each other. You know, I'm not fighting him. He's different weight division to me these days, and
I'm breathing in.
no, and he's tough. This guy would take even Spencer, who I love dearly. You may not realise that.
I don't actually.
I've known Spencer a long time. I covered the fight where he got injured, and he's an extraordinary analyst on the sport, and he's still very combative. And honestly, when he starts to go at me behind cameras, and the old
You get Gareth A large tequila, please.
and the hand speed comes out, I think, and then I feel him here and how hard he is, and I just
Excuse
think
me?
That was my
You
stomach,
do
by the
know,
way.
actually,
That
the
was my
camera
stomach.
has
Yeah.
not picked
Yeah.
that up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see the clickbait now.
No,
Can
thank
you?
you. I
I
don't
felt
think that-
Spencer and how hard he was.
I went cross,
How
not
hard
down.
he is.
Yeah,
Okay,
I went
well-
cross, not down.
It's debatable.
He went cross.
Dear me, you lot.
Sorry.
Anyway. Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
Where are we at? Right, so we've covered that.
We have covered it, but you as a fighter, Spen, would you take the fight? Would you take the fight if you
in
was
a heartbeat.
Okay.
In a heartbeat.
All right.
Listen, if I was offered that fight in a position where Anthony Joshua is, and because he's a guy that's in that position, going through a couple of warm-up fights where he's got to box danger men, and and it's heavyweight boxing, things happen. What I'm saying is, if I was offered the WBC title fight against Tyson Fury, a fight that may never happen if it doesn't happen next, because we thought he was a million miles away from it. And I've actually spoken to Joshua about that. I said, listen, if that offer was put to me, 60-40 split, and the chance to fight for the marbles, the WBC title, I said, I would bite
Snap
your
their hand
hand off for that.
Yeah.
Well, I think he should rebuild. I think he should rebuild Joshua and come back and fight Fury another day.
And that's why I know what I know. And that's why I know the sport inside out. And Gareth,
When you say
Sorry.
rebuild, though, Gareth, who do you think he should fight?
Sorry?
So when you talk about
Oh, well,
rebuild fights,
I think he should have. I know it's difficult because of Joshua's standing. It's very difficult for him to fight bums. And I'm talking about
Yeah,
much
I
lower tier
understand, yeah.
opponents. He's a victim of his own success in so many ways. But I think if he goes a different route, I think he's got 5 or 6 fights left. I think if he loses badly to Tyson Fury in December, I don't think it looks good for him.
I think he's at the stage of his career where he doesn't need the 5 or 6 fights because his legacy is already sort of like, it's 80% built. What I'm saying is we're at the stage of his career as a 2-time world heavyweight champion, Olympic gold medalist, world silver medalist. What I'm saying is who needs another 2 or 3 dangerous warm-up fights when he's got the opportunity for the fight that, like, it's all about legacy, right? It's all about eras, right? So Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, they all need to, like in the old days with Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, and what's his name?
Harley Fraser.
Harley Fraser.
Norton
Yeah,
Holmes.
that's it. Like in them days, they all fought each other. What
They
I'm
did.
saying is to make eras and to create legacies. Hold on
Yeah.
a minute.
Come on.
Hold on a minute.
You
See,
pushing
that's what he
him
does.
again.
He
Why
gets
you can't do it in
frustrated.
15
He gets
seconds?
frustrated.
We've both got kind of varying strains of ADHD, which come in and out as well, and we get
Right, so anyway, I'll cut it short.
cut
What I'm
it
saying
short.
is
Yeah, we like it.
they need that fight to happen.
yeah, we're
I
listening.
do want to be able to see.
Okay, you get a beer. Is this a gas on?
Whoa. Can I
They're getting attention.
You know I'm very
to get
well
their
connected in
beverages.
this hotel, don't you?
I don't even know which hotel we're in.
No, but did I tell you the story about this hotel? Did I tell
Are
you
you
any of you?
Can
Can I tell you
Can
this?
you do it in 15 seconds?
I can
That's
do it
what
in
Gareth
15
wants to
seconds.
know.
So I was sitting here last night, 12 o'clock at night. We're chatting. There was me, Peter Fury, who else was I with? Mick Hennessy and Baz from Boxer. All of a sudden, guy that's behind the bar now comes over with a very expensive bottle of champagne. It's a Spencer. John, who owns this hotel, was brought this over for you. He used to come to Finchley ABC boxing when your
dropped
dad was there and
something,
everything else. He's boxing. Hold on a minute. Let me tell the story. So yeah, he says and he just wanted to gift you that to say welcome to the hotel.
That's
etc.
nice.
And I said, wow, would John like to come to the boxing on Saturday night? So unfortunately, John's going to Monaco in the morning. And I thought, how does John know I'm in this hotel? Because I'm under my name in this hotel is under Mick Hennessy. So I wasn't booked in this hotel. Mick kindly gave me a room. That's the sort of guy I am. Anyway, so
Wish Mick
he
would give
must
me
have
a
come
room.
in and he saw us there. And so I've been speaking to John, who owns this hotel.
Yes.
A very kind guy, very nice guy. And yeah.
What, Big John?
See what I mean?
It's all right. We like
Well, I
it.
can't comment on the story. I'm just trying to get you your beer. In fact, your
No,
beer's
I've got
up
one.
there.
Yeah, I've got one. Yeah, it's
Go
fine.
and get your beer and I'll
No, it's fine. That's fine. Because I don't do drinking. I won't drink whilst on camera. I'm
You are
professional.
very professional.
I am.
So talk to me about Deontay Wilder's return then. What are your thoughts on that? With Robert
go?
Helenius.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah, I think he'll beat Helenius handily. I think he'll stop him in the mid to late rounds. It's great to see Deontay Wilder back. And my view on Deontay Wilder is, get over here. There's 5 massive fights for you. And I think he should base himself over here. I think it'll be a big hit with the people. He was. I remember when he came to Talk Sport, actually.
Okay.
Before the...
Was that when
before this-
Bellew fought?
You dropped Sag.
Yeah, it was around then.
Yeah.
You dropped something.
Yeah. What's that?
Another name.
name.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
Gosh.
And the whole of Talk Sport in the office just stopped from being there. He's mobbed when he's here, Deontay Wilder, and I just think there's massive fights for him here, and he should come and take advantage of this big time here, as we are here today. You know, with a massive all-women's card this weekend. There you go. Oh, over to you, Spence.
Anyway, so I want to comment off the back of that.
Go on then.
About that. I totally agree with everything Gareth's saying.
That's American.
Once, yeah, I do agree with everything you said there.
Come on.
I do.
Yeah, but he shouldn't he?
No, 100%. I think this is where that Wilder needs to be now. This is where the heavyweight boxing scene is going on.
Is he asking for hors d'oeuvres?
No. So yeah, no, I totally agree with you there. Actually, that's a very good analysis. One of your better ones.
Thank you. Next.
Ruiz versus Ortiz on the weekend. Talk to me about that fight. Your thoughts
I
on
thought it
it?
was a good performance by Ruiz. Ortiz is a tricky fighter. It was very low punch volume in the fights. I think the punch stats were actually that Ortiz landed 78 to Andy's 76 punches. But I thought Ruiz looked hungry again for me, and he looked good. We know, was he 269 pounds? He's always
That's
big.
his size, yeah.
But that's his size. You know, he handles the big guys well. Again, another guy who's in the mix. He's beaten Joshua. Get over here, fight Dillian White, fight Chisora. Ruiz can make it. I think they do better over here at the moment. I think
With
the
the
heavyweight
heavyweight
division's
caliber,
here,
yeah.
not over there at the
Yeah,
moment.
I agree. I think that Ruiz looked good, but he looks good in patches, in glimpses, Ruiz, and that's what it is. He needs a higher punch volume. Like if his punch stats were higher, if he let more shots go, he would be a tough guy to beat. But I think where he only fights in spurts, that'd be his problem with the bigger guys, with the top tier names, because I don't think the punch volume's enough to sort of for him to go on and win a world title at this current moment. But it was a good performance. Ortiz is a tricky guy, southpaw. He's big, he's strong, and I thought he done really well. I thought it was a good performance.
And finally, Dillian White then is looking to, get back out there, get in the mix. There was some rumbles about him fighting Triple D. I did ask him when I spoke to him on the weekend, but he said, there's no fight news. Nothing's been made as yet. Dillian White then, what is next for him?
Well, I think, like Dynamite Dubois, another Chisora fight.
You think
Anthony
we go
Joshua.
for Chisora again?
That's the next fight I would put Anthony Joshua in, is with Dillian White, actually. You mentioned the Oscars now.
That's why I said that Joshua should go straight for Tyson Fury, because that's a dangerous fight against
I
Dillian
think he
White.
beats Dillian White.
Yeah, no, but stylistically, I'm saying it's a dangerous fight.
But it's an exciting fight.
Yeah, but
though,
it's
as
not.
well.
There's no marbles on the table. Fury's the fight we want to see. You can see my point. What I'm saying is Joshua's not at that stage now where he needs fights like that to get to where he needs to get to. He's being offered the opportunity to fight for the WBC title.
White's
Go
got
for it.
loads of fights out there. The winner of Parker and
Joyce.
if they want to fight him.
Joyce is tricky.
Yeah, but he's tricky for everyone.
Who
so
wins out of Parker Joyce?
I think Joyce wins that fight. I think Joyce comes late in that fight and just pips it. It's a good fight though.
Very tough fight to call, actually. I'm leaning the other way. I think that Parker builds up an early lead. Joyce comes on strong, but Parker just pips it and hangs on. He's got the experience to hang in there. He's been there. He's mixed at that level. And it's a tough fight to call. It is one of those ones. It's one of those where we'll all have an opinion and the way that we think the fight will go. I think we're pretty sure that I think that Parker starts well. Obviously, Joyce gets into a rhythm and he's a difficult man to break once he's into that rhythm. But I think that Parker may hang on with that one.
Yeah, maybe. Look, as you say, Parker's got to start quickly. I think he'll get ahead in the fight. Then Joyce will come, won't he? And he'll start doing his rock'em sock'em robots. It's going to be a close fight, but I just think Joyce has got something extra that Parker hasn't got. But Parker's looked good under Andy Lee, so
Yes.
it's hard to predict. It's a really good fight, not to be missed. We'll be there for Talk Sport.
We will. We're covering it.
Talk Sport are absolutely everywhere. But gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Drinks are at the table.
Yeah.
Until the next time.
Cheers.
Thank you. Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.